Hi friends, Julia here. I'm sharing a collection of supplies and cards that I created out of my stash. What I did was I pulled together a kit that I created using blue scraps. So I went through my scrap bins and I pulled out all of my blue scraps and I cut them down to standardized sizes, 4.5 by, 4.25 by 5.5, 4 by 5.25, 3 by 5, 2.5 by 5.5, and on through. And so I went through kind of like they do on the Operation Right Home website. They tell you, one of their videos told you to, sizes to cut down pattern papers and your scraps and that kind of thing. And I did all that. And so, those are just a couple of embellishments that I cut out with my quick cuts and some black embellishments. But all of this is blue stuff. This is all blue scraps from my scrap bins. Some of these papers I will put back into my scrap bins, but most of them are going in the kids' play area. The other thing that I added in was I added in a lot of random metal embellishments. And I kind of went through, I pulled in some brads that were already on these little foam packaging inserts, went through and found brads, multicolor, what were these little things? The little corner piece things. Anyway, I found a lot of those. Little hinges. I thought I might use some of those, so I put them in this container. I had some metal photo corners. I had acrylic pieces. That's a fabric tab, a little bow, some buttons there. Also pulled in some random buttons that came in a package that I never used. And so I have those. Pulled in little gold paper clips. And I can honestly say I never opened these to use them. So those are probably going to get given away. Have more scraps here. Let me pull this over. I had bling that I added in. These little half pearls in blue, green, and white. And also I pulled in some white leftover. This is my white leftover bling bag. It just goes in my stash. When I have leftovers from a package or if I cut something apart, I just put it in here to hold on to it until I use it up. Had this piece of Bella Rouge from Pink Paisley, silver sparkly embellishments, and they're like puffy, almost like you took glitter glue and wrote out the phrases. But anyway, I have those, and I used just a couple little pieces from that. Went through my ribbon bin and pulled in a lot of these little small bits of ribbon. Went through my chipboard drawer and pulled in all kinds of packages of leftover bits of chipboard. That's a lot of grunge board. Those are some K & Company embossed images. Those are some leftover SEI coaster boards. I have these two random packages of green embellishments. I think that's Maya Road. These are leftover basic gray pieces. And then these are all sorts of embellishments. Scenic Route, Miss Elizabeth's. I think there might be some basic gray. There's some Close to My Heart. There's all kinds of different embellishments in there. I went through, I punched a bunch of butterflies with a lot of the scraps, all in blue, and so they're in there. Another little packet of leftover chipboards. Went through, let me just pull this over so you can see. I kind of put the kit together inside of an old Project Life box, the Jade edition that I had. I just used this and then this clear container here to hold my paper scraps, and I put everything else in here. These are little random leftover bits and pieces that were sitting in my leftover bowl. Things that I've cut out with my silhouette. That's where I had done some playing with watercolors and that kind of thing. Mist and sprays, more cut aparts. Just random little things. There's some stickers even left over in here. Some big 4x6 journal spots. And you can see all of this stuff are things that were too good to be thrown out, but I really didn't want to go through the trouble of finding a place to put them. Same with this little thing here. Lots of cutouts here. I have some butterflies in here. I have little flowers. I have circles. I have, oh, what are those called? Chevron type arrows. I have bits and pieces that I've cut out from other things. Images that I've stamped. There's something that I've cut out. Lots of just randomness. These are all shapes that I've cut out with my Sizzix. Anyway, I went through and I created this kit, and I think I'm tired of playing with it. I've played with it off and on. It's something that I get out when I feel the urge to be creative, but not very, if you will. And so I go to the Operation Right Home website, pull out some of their sketches, and it's easy to take the leftover bits and pieces and create cards with them, following their sketch designs. And they're all for the smaller cards, so you can create them quite easily. And you can see, I just really went through. I had this photo frame in there with the smile already on it. I took one of the cutout with my silhouette images, like one of these pieces, but a little bit bigger, and put behind there and just cut it down to fit behind there, so it gave it, you know, a little extra dimension. I cut border strips. I used the ribbon that I had in there, the butterflies, the bling. And this, most of these don't have anything on the inside. I just paired the card with an envelope and set it aside. Same deal here. All of these are leftover scraps or bits and pieces from everything that I've added in. Nothing in that one. Bride and Groom Forever. Those were all bits and pieces that were in there. Again, leftover stuff. And this one, in order to make it go, these two, in order to make it go top to bottom, I cut these right in half because this piece was just a little bit shorter. So I went through, cut it in the middle, and spaced it out about 1/4 inch to make it fit top to bottom. Whereas these two are similar designs. They didn't. I mean, they have a border all the way around. This is one that I created using one of those silver stickers. Made a, I called them whirligig growing up. I don't know what they're really called. A wind embellishment, wind twirly embellishment. Anyway, and just, that's a punch out from either a die or a silhouette cut. Nothing on the inside. So these are pretty generic. Same deal here. Most of these, oh, I really do like this one. This one is that canvas shape on the background, and I just layered up some different embellishments. That was an old SCI die cut, and so I just added the other stuff. Nothing on the inside. Here's another one. Added one of those silver puffy stickers. How long has it been since you've used one of those old-fashioned buckles? Remember those from the late 90s? Maybe mid-90s. Ooh, I'm dating myself there. Anyway, they've been around for a really long time, and I actually still have some in my stash. And I found one in one of the chipboard packets, so I put it in here. Layered up some of those images that I cut out. That was a journal spot there that was cut apart from something. Again, I love this one. I love that texture layered up with these canvas and the ribbon. And you can see it's got some of the same feel as far as when I create. I print this sketch out and then I leave it lay on the desk, and sometimes I'll go back and add more to it. You know, I mean, I'll create more with the same design. This is one that I created with a Hello die cut, and just took some paper scraps and put on there. Nothing on the inside. This is one that I border cut all of these images out and then glued them all down, and then added something that I stamped on the front of it. Another one that I cut out with the silhouette, I think this one, yeah, this one does have Happy Birthday on the inside. Ooh, 2 envelopes. And this one is a happy birthday as well, and it's got hope your birthday's as sweet as you are. And that's an image that I already had stamped, and I had it just over my leftovers bowl, and I threw it in with this stuff because it was stamped in blue ink. So you can see the tag was left over, this little ticket was left over, and I just layered them all up and created stuff. It was so much fun to get in and use my scraps like this. Some of this stuff will go back into my stash. Other bits and pieces will be gotten completely rid of or given to the kids. I still have some of the canvas shapes. I have lots of these cutouts. I have lots of chipboard bits and pieces. Bags and bags of chipboard left over. Some of this may be going out completely. Put it in a do not want bucket. And a lot of these scraps, some of them will go back into my stash, others will go into the kids' stuff. And then the metal embellishments, same thing. I'll go through and clear out what I don't want in my stash anymore and put back in what I do. So anyway, there's another idea of something to do with your stash, your leftover stash, in order to create some cards. Anyway, I hope this inspires someone to get into their stash and create something new with it. Have a great day, everyone, and thanks for stopping by. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.